Hello, class. Today I would like to go over a few important things about your Module 5 project draft, which is due this module. So this is the first part of your final project, which is due in Module 7. So this is a very important week, and it's the week in which you will craft your analysis of your chosen article, which is what we've been working toward this term. So first of all, I would like to kind of quickly go over the guidelines and rubric. And so for the assignment, you will use the introduction and thesis statement that you wrote last week in Module 4. So make sure that you revisit that and incorporate that into your draft. Okay, so for this assignment, you will develop a paper that explains the writer's choices in relation to genre, audience, purpose, and subject. And you will write about the core idea of the text and details and use at least one quote from the article. So these elements will be integrated into the body paragraphs of the paper. So the goal here, which I touched on a bit last week too, is that you are not just summarizing the author's article. You are analyzing whether or not the author is successful or effective in their argument or in their article. Okay? So your thesis statement here should evaluate the author's core idea, and then within the text you will be supporting that evaluation or that argument. So make sure to take a look at my comments from Module 4 on your thesis statement to see if that argument or analysis evaluation aspect needs to be strengthened at all. Okay, so now we are taking a look here at what you will be covering in the rubric from the rubric criteria. Okay, and at this point, so topic, genre, purpose, audience, purpose, and subject, historical and cultural context, core ideas, details, and evidence. Okay, so these are kind of the criteria that you will be addressing within your argument. So the goal here is not to just list these, the topic, the genre, the purpose, the audience. Instead, you will be integrating all of those ideas into a complete essay. Okay, so you won't be just making a list of all of these things. These are actually incorporated into an essay. So let's take a look here at the exemplar. And this is the APA exemplar that is linked in the guidelines and rubric area of the module. Okay. So in this exemplar, the student discusses historical cultural context, the topic, audience purpose and subject, genre, the writing choices. Okay, and the student addresses all of this in the introductory paragraph. So, and then integrates the thesis statement. Okay, so remember last week we saw the exemplar's thesis statement that makes an argument that Romancière, or Rousmanière, I don't know how to say it, emphasizes the value of productivity. Although she emphasizes the importance of work-life balance, she does not offer as many ways to truly take a break. So that is the core of the argument, and the student discusses as I said, all these rubric elements within this introduction and leads into her thesis statement there. Okay. And this also explains that the critical elements from the rubric are integrated into the introductory paragraph. And then in the body paragraphs, you will be developing the 3 key points that you identify in your thesis statement. So you might want to take a look again at your Module 4 thesis statement assignment, and remember in that table how you listed the 3 reasons, and this is what you can build your body paragraphs around, is the 3 reasons that your author is successful or unsuccessful in forwarding their argument. Okay, and so each topic sentence will kind of summarize or support that thesis statement, the analysis there. And as you can see, this student uses quotes throughout to support the argument as to how she is successful in a way, but also unsuccessful in her argument. So here you'll see Romancier does not offer much guidance in that direction. So this is all supporting that student's initial argument as to whether the author is successful or unsuccessful. And again, you can weave in ideas here, the critical elements of the rubric. So if you want to discuss that your author is, unsuccessful in that genre, say, or the writer's choices that fit into that genre, and how that makes her article successful or unsuccessful. Maybe the audience, part of your argument revolves around audience and how the author maybe has too narrow of an audience, or any of these elements that support your argument. Okay, so I know that this is a little bit complex, but if you break it down into ensuring that you have those 3 key ideas in each of your 3 body paragraphs that support your argument, and then weaving in those critical elements from the rubric, such as genre, historical context, cultural context, weaving those into your argument, your own argument about whether the author is successful. And I do think this exemplar really helps to show how that can be done. And so again, take a look at it. These are bolded throughout that exemplar. I changed them to red for the purposes of this video. I thought that would pop more, but yeah, just take a look at the bold in that exemplar, and that will kind of explain how this student did it. So it can provide somewhat of a template that you can follow as you are drafting your argument. So again, be sure to take a look back at your Module 4 work and use that to support your draft this week. Okay, again, of course, let me know if you have any questions at all, and I hope this was helpful. Best of luck drafting your assignments this week, and again, reach out if you need any further guidance. Thanks, have a great week.